Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mishak Mali and today I want to talk about 10 potential different solutions if you're experiencing acne. So as some of you may be aware, when I was 17, I experienced severe cystic acne. One of my goals with this channel is to share some of the tips, tricks, and things that I learned in order to get through that, as that may be able to help some of you out there. Just so you're aware, I am not a doctor. I have never been to medical school. These are just things that have worked for me in the past and may work for you as well. All right, let's get started. I'll be ranking these 10 items from what I believe are some of the easiest life changes you can make to some of the more difficult, larger life changes that you may be able to do. None of these require a doctor's appointment or a prescription. These are all things you can do on your own today. All right, so number one on this list is your pillowcase. How frequently are you actually changing your pillowcase? This is one of the things that I started thinking about when I first had acne. There's all sorts of oil, dirt, little things that get on your face throughout the day, and then you rub on your pillowcase at night, and then the next night you're rubbing that same dirt and grime back onto your face. So one of the things that I like to do in order to mitigate my acne is just to swap my pillowcase every couple of days. I find that with a fresh pillowcase every couple of days, I'm not getting that buildup of oil and gross kind of dirt and grime that's on my skin that's then getting reapplied and clogging my pores at night as I sleep. So one of the low-hanging fruit you can try is just changing your pillowcase every couple days. Super easy, but may help reduce the amount of acne that you're experiencing. All right, number two is also very simple, having a face towel. So before I had acne, I didn't even think about the towel that I was using. I would get out of the shower, dry my whole body down with the towel, including my face, hang it back up on the rack, and then use it again the next day. Once I started experiencing severe acne, one of the things that I started doing is using a completely separate towel for my face. So when I get out of the shower, I'll dry my hair and the rest of my body with my big towel, and then I'll have a separate smaller towel that I'll use just for my face. One of the things I like to do is make sure it's in a spot where other people that are using the bathroom don't mistake it for just a spare hand towel. But having that separate towel that's just for my face ensures that I'm not getting all the germs, grime, whatever else is on my body also then on my face. Kind of similar to the pillowcase piece from before, this adds a level of cleanliness to my face. Once again, super low-hanging fruit. You can totally do this immediately. Just have a separate towel that you're using for your face. Number three on the list is having a face wash and a moisturizer. I've talked about before in skincare videos, but having a face wash and a moisturizer that you're using twice a day can be super impactful on your skin. I didn't start having a consistent face wash and moisturizer really until a couple of years ago. So picking out a good face wash, whether it's just a CeraVe or something more generic, and then a moisturizer that you're applying in the morning and then also in the evening may have a really large impact on your skin. The cleanser clears out the pores, kind of gets rid of that dirt and grime that's built up either throughout the day or while you've been sleeping. And then the moisturizer moisturizes your skin so that your body isn't producing excess oils throughout the day. I really recommend having both of these and using them twice a day. I've found huge improvements by having these in my own life. Number four on the list is exercise. How much are you regularly exercising? Now, when my acne starts to get bad, I often ask myself this question: how much am I running? How much am I lifting? Those are my two main forms of exercise. And usually I try to dial both those up, right? If I'm just running 1 or 2 days a week, maybe bump that up to 3 or 4. Also, when I'm exercising, really making sure it's a vigorous workout. Now, I do both cardio and weightlifting. I feel like they kind of target different areas of the body, but it definitely is something, if I'm not running consistently or I'm not lifting consistently, I start to notice that my skin just responds in a negative way. So highly recommend, if you're not doing it, try adding some really vigorous exercise into your week. There's so many benefits from doing vigorous exercise as well, just in terms of overall health, mental health, stability. Working yourself to the point of exertion is just so valuable as humans. And oftentimes we're spending our whole days, in our cars or sitting at a desk at work and really not pushing our bodies in the way that our bodies were meant to be pushed. So having that vigorous exercise really can be seen as part of your skincare routine. 100%. Number 5 on the list, how much water are you consuming? Now, I'm a guy, I'm relatively tall, but I try to drink about a gallon to a gallon and a half of water every single day. I find that keeping myself fully hydrated really helps out my skin. So drinking a lot of water, sometimes even adding a little bit of lemon to that water so that my body absorbs it a little better, can be a fantastic move. So if you find that your water levels are just a little bit low, see if you can increase the amount of water that you're drinking. One of the things that I like to do is just always have a glass of water with me at home. So basically every hour, then I'm filling up that glass of water and drinking it. I just find that I feel better while being hydrated, and so much of the time, if I'm not paying attention to it, I will be dehydrated. Now, granted, if you're not used to drinking a lot of fluids, you will have to pee more when you're drinking more fluids, but your body is going to thank you, not just in your skin, but in many other ways. So drinking a lot of fluids in general is just a really, really good practice to get into, but it is also super beneficial for your skin. I've definitely noticed positive results when I've increased the amount of water that I'm consuming every day. Number 6 on the list, we have processed foods. Now, I've talked about this before, but processed foods contain all sorts of things in them that are not so great for us as humans. If a lot of your diet is consisting of processed foods, consider moving over to a more whole food based diet. Now, I would consider processed foods basically anything in a package. So if it comes in a package, you just toss it in a microwave, that's probably a processed food. A whole food is going to be something like a piece of steak or an egg or a glass of milk or some rice or some broccoli, right? Things that you have to actually prepare in order to eat are generally going to be overall healthier for you. So eliminating or at least decreasing the processed foods in your diet could be a huge benefit for you. When I had super severe cystic acne, one of the things that I did is basically eliminated processed foods entirely. Now, my acne did end up going away, and I think this was a contributing factor. The processed foods really kind of convince your body that you're eating something that's nutritionally dense, but it's not at all. Eating real whole foods is just going to give your body more full nutrients that it needs. Bottom line, processed foods aren't great for you, and your skin is going to thank you if you're eating healthier foods. Number 7 on the list is alcohol consumption, specifically reducing the amount of alcohol that you're consuming. I have this on here for a number of reasons. Drinking a lot of alcohol dehydrates your body, which, as we talked about before, is not great for your skin and not great for your acne. Secondly, drinking alcohol reduces the quality of your sleep, so you're just getting less deep, restful sleep, which is super important for your skin. So drinking alcohol, while it can be really fun, has a lot of harmful side effects. There's many others that I'm not going to go into here. I made a whole video about why I quit drinking, which I'll link above. Number 8 is dairy. When I had super severe cystic acne, one of the other things that I cut out was dairy. I read online that a lot of people were experiencing acne and they felt like dairy was a contributing factor. Over the years, I've gone back and forth in terms of how much I think this was the case for me specifically, but I definitely think that there are some people out there that respond super sensitively to dairy. So if you're experiencing acne and you're finding that nothing else is working, try cutting out dairy from your diet. It may be that that is the piece that you need in order to actually reduce the acne that you have. Now, the reason I have it so far down the list is dairy is a tough one to cut out. Cheese, butter, milk, all of these things are like in everything. And so you start really restricting your diet when you eliminate dairy. So I would recommend kind of doing everything else on the list first. If dairy is something you want to try cutting out anyway, give it a shot, but it's definitely one of the harder ones to do. All right, number 9 on this list is coffee. Now, coffee is something that I love. That's why I have it so high up on this list. And it's not something that for me would be easy to cut out. It's one of the staples of my day. I love that hot cup of joe in the morning. But coffee also definitely dehydrates you. And if you're drinking a ton of coffee, it can lead to you drinking a lot less water. I notice on days where I have multiple cups of coffee that I don't start drinking a lot of water until 11 or noon, which just dramatically decreases the amount of water that I'm consuming throughout the day. Whereas if I don't have any coffee, I usually start drinking water in the morning when I would start drinking coffee. And overall, I end up drinking more water throughout the day. So coffee is definitely one of those things that could be a contributing factor for you, especially if you're drinking a coffee that like has sugar and milk and whipped cream and all sorts of other stuff in it. It might not even be the caffeine necessarily is the leading factor, but consuming all of those other things could be part of the issue. So I would think about your coffee consumption, maybe just try reducing it a little bit and see if you have any positive effects. Number 10, the last one on this list, is sugar. I believe that sugar is one of the largest contributing factors to acne. I think that one of the reasons why cutting out processed foods is so effective is because a lot of processed foods contain a ton of sugar. Sugar is so good, but has a lot of really, really negative effects. And especially in the United States, we consume a ton of sugar, like way more than is good for us. So I would think about your sugar consumption potentially as one of the reasons why you might be having breakouts. I cut out sugar entirely when I had super severe cystic acne, and it seemed to work for me. Even over the last couple of years when I've had flare-ups, the main thing that I've done is cut out sugar from my diet. And oftentimes, a lot of those breakouts would go away. I find that I'm someone who's super sensitive to sugar, so even if I have a little bit of sugar, I'll have a breakout. You might not be that way. Sugar might not be a contributing factor for you. Great. That's awesome. But for me, I am very sensitive to that sugar. So I find that while it may be one of the toughest things to cut out of your diet, it also can be one of the biggest movers in terms of clearing up your skin. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, informative, and inspirational. Again, these are just 10 tips that I have for you to try out to see if you can reduce your acne. Acne is a beast. It's a tough thing to deal with. It really, really sucks, and I'm pulling for you. I hope that some of these tips will potentially give you that relief that I know you're craving. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. If you like what you see here, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.